Friends, do you also feel scared over little things? Then this story is for you. Because today, you'll meet a little mouse who was terrified of life until he learned a lesson that made him fearless. Once upon a time, in the countryside of Virginia, USA, there stood a huge old oak tree. Beneath that tree was a small mouse hole, where lived a little mouse named Tommy. Tommy rarely came out of his hole. Only when he was extremely hungry, he would sneak out. Now, under the same oak tree, a wise old monk named Father John used to meditate. One day, while Father John was deep in meditation, he suddenly heard someone crying. At first, he ignored it. But when the sound continued, he looked around carefully and realized it was coming from the tiny mouse hole. "Who's there? Come out," Father John said gently. A moment later, a trembling little mouse stepped out. "What's wrong, little one? Why are you crying?" Father John asked. Through his tears, Tommy replied, "Father, I've been hungry for days. Not because there's no food outside, but because I'm too scared to leave my hole. I fear that a cat might eat me." Hearing this, Father John felt compassion. He said, "If it's the cat you fear, then I'll give you strength. From today, you will be a cat." With his spiritual power, Father John transformed Tommy into a cat. For the first time, Tommy felt safe. He roamed the fields happily without fearing other cats. But a few days later, while hunting, a pack of dogs started chasing him. Terrified, Tommy rushed back to Father John. "Father, I'm still afraid," he cried. Father John smiled and said, "Then let me turn you into a dog." And with a blessing, Tommy became a strong dog. Now, he walked confidently, fearless of cats or other animals. But one day, while roaming near the forest, a fierce mountain lion leapt at him. Once again, fear shook his heart, and he ran back to Father John. "Father, make me a lion, the king of beasts. Then no one can scare me," Tommy begged. Father John agreed and transformed him into a roaring lion. Now Tommy truly felt invincible. His roar echoed through the woods, and all animals ran in fear. But one morning, while drinking water at the riverbank, a hunter aimed an arrow at him. The arrow whizzed past his ear and struck a tree. Tommy froze. For the first time, he realized, "No matter how powerful I become, there will always be something greater than me. Fear never leaves me." Broken and shaken, the lion returned to Father John. "Father, I will never escape fear. Whether I am a mouse, a cat, a dog, or even a lion, fear always follows me." Father John looked at him kindly and said, "My son, don't you see? Fear is not out there. Fear lives inside your mind. Changing your form won't free you. You must change your mind. Courage doesn't mean having no fear. Courage means facing fear and moving forward anyway." He then changed Tommy back into a small mouse. At first, Tommy was shocked, but the wise words had touched his heart. That day forward, Tommy decided to face his fears. On the first day, he took a few steps out of his hole. On the second day, he went a little further. Day by day, he grew braver. One morning, the same cat appeared before him. Tommy's heart raced, but instead of running away, he stood still. The cat glanced at him and walked away. From that moment, Tommy was never the same. He became fearless not because he was strong, but because he had faced his fears. Father John smiled and said, "Today, you've learned what even great warriors fail to understand. Fear doesn't leave by changing who you are, it leaves when you change how you think." Moral of the story: fear does not live outside, it lives inside us. No matter how powerful we become, if fear rules our mind, we will never be free. True courage is not the absence of fear, but moving forward in spite of it. Always remember, don't run from fear, face it. Please like and subscribe.